Chris from KaijuPub.com, and this is Aces of the Luftwaffe on PS4, on Vita, I think, and also all manner of touch devices and Amazon Fire things, and Amazon Fire TV, I think, and PC probably as well. This actually started out as a mobile game. You might be able to guess if you deduce the name of the developer here is Handy Games. Handy being the German word for mobile phone, as I learned once. And it kind of shows that this is a port, that this has a mobile origins here. Mainly, as soon as you start playing the game, you have to get over a few things. First of all, that this looks like, well, it looks like a game made for a sub 6-inch display blown up to a TV screen, which is definitely something weird to get around at first. But also the way that it controls. It's a shooter, as you can guess. But you're auto shooting, which is kind of the way a lot of shmups are handled on smartphones. You don't want to be dealing with virtual buttons for shooting and things like that, so very often shmups on touch devices just have you automatically shooting all the time, because hey, let's face it, that's all you ever do is just hold your finger on the fire button in these things. So the logic with a lot of people making shmups on iPhone has been, well, just screw it, let's just have your spaceship or your plane or whatever be shooting all the time and be done with it. Which makes sense. It makes absolute sense on absolute sense on iPhone with touch controls. It feels really weird, and it's definitely something to get used to when you're playing on the PS4, because you have all of these buttons. But anyway, this is a very sort of European flavored shmup, really, because it's set in the European theater of World War II, which kind of explains why this isn't on the US store at present. It's only on the European PSN stores, I believe. It's an interesting run, really, because this is a German-developed game, I believe Handy Games is a German company. Something their title would have you believe that. It's called Aces of the Luftwaffe, and yet you're playing as the British shooting German planes? I don't know. It's a little bit strange. Yeah, it's a lot to get used to at first, and it's really, frankly, it's a little bit awkward to play with a controller. It's random to say that, but there are all these games that are great with controllers and handle appallingly on phones, and you think, why did they do that? Why did they bring it out? Why did they bring Bioshock out on iPhone? That's just stupid. But it's just as weird going the other way around. It feels just as awkward playing this game that's clearly built for touch on a PS4 controller. It's clearly built to touch in such a way that if I click the touchpad in, I can actually use the touchpad to move the plane around. Although that's even more stilted because I have to push the button in at the same time as doing that. But I would assume that if I was playing this on Vita, I'd be able to use the touchscreen as well. Unfortunately, because the way accounts work on Vita, and I don't want to have to reformat a memory card to do so, I can't play this on Vita to find out. So I'm stuck with using an analog stick or the D-pad on the PS4 controller, which is just really, really indistinct. You've got a lot of fine control. It's one reason why shmups really work quite well, surprisingly well, as a genre on iOS, is that you have a lot of granular control with your finger. It's like using a mouse to play a shmup. And you don't have that with controller. It just feels really, it's everything or nothing. You're kind of all over the screen. And it doesn't do enough. The game doesn't do enough to compensate for that, I find. So it's really difficult, as you can tell. I'm dying a lot. And there's a lot like the sort of mobile hooks. It's like, oh, you know, you can pay 100 medals, 100 credits to get an extra life and continue where you left off, as well as to upgrade your plane and things like that. So there is kind of a lot. There's no microtransactions in the console version, but it is kind of designed in such a way of, hey, slip us some extra cash, so we're making this level really difficult. So there's definitely that to it. So there's kind of a lot to nitpick, and it's certainly not ideal on PS4. But all that being said, and despite the fact that playing it kind of makes me think fondly of something like 1942 or Banshee on the Amiga, or those were vertically scrolling instead of sideways scrolling, horizontally scrolling rather, shmups. Those games were phenomenal, and this isn't that thing. You know, it has a similar kind of aesthetic, I suppose, but it has nowhere near the same level of personality, at least not nowhere near as much personality as, say, Banshee, which is an amazing shmup on the Amiga, but because it was on the Amiga, everybody forgot about it. But I think when you aha, I got this you know, gradually, the trick is to shoot crap, to shoot the planes with the red power-up indicators, and you shoot all them, and then you get a power-up, fairly obviously. And if you can power up your gun and have the wingmen and get the upgrades to power up your wingmen as well, then you're laughing. I breezed through the last stage about like that, but yeah, this takes great pleasure in kicking your rear, especially when you're controlling it in such a way that, you know, that the game wasn't really designed for. Yeah, it takes great delight in beating you up. It's an incredibly difficult game. The fact that I keep on dying here, and this is the 5th stage out of something like 20 or so. It doesn't mess around, and it's one of those kind of shmups where, because it's a one life and you're done thing, but you can take a certain amount of damage as indicated by all the bullet holes on the screen, and you get a little warning saying, oh hey, you're about to croak here, so be careful, or get a repair power up. Yeah, it kind of, it's one of those shooters where you know you're definitely going to get hit, so it's almost like you can't learn patterns for it. It is definitely unreservedly going to beat you up. It's just that you've kind of got to hope that you beat everything up before it beats you up, kind of thing. So it is kind of, it's hard to love, is this, especially on PS4. But it does some things that are really cool, and I'm just kind of hoping that I get off this stage so that I can show some of the things that are really cool. Otherwise, I'll just have to head back into levels that I've already completed to show you the cool things that it does do. Because I think if it was all entirely this, it would feel kind of like, I mean, it's made in Game Maker, and it kind of feels like the old shoot 'em up construction kit games on the Amiga. You know, it would be easy to feel that way, that I'm just flying over this same generic map, shooting the same amount of baddies every time. But there's a little bit more to it than that, and I'll hopefully be able to show that off in just a little bit once I get past this infernal bloody level. Okay. There we go. There we go. And there are, I mean, like, I do kind of like the big chunky sprites. It's things to get used to because they are clearly assets built for small screens being blown up. But there is something endearing about the look to it. And it reminds me of something like that. It would be nice if the backgrounds had a little bit more personality. You know, kind of one soldiers running back and forth and fighting out the war on the ground. That would be kind of cool, but as is, it doesn't look bad. It just looks kind of weird for your head to get around at first. It was probably a waste of that power. And there are times where it just throws crap tons of stuff at you. There's no way. There is no way you can get through this unscathed. It's just not possible. So it's just a case of, well, beat everything up, hopefully shoot the power-up planes, and hope that those power-up planes have repair power-ups in them. Okay. And jolly good. I think we've got this leg, hopefully. There's no real way of telling where you are in a stage, which is another thing, because I mean, as I said, the maps are so generic. I guess it's already looped twice at this point. I don't know. Kind of like a Hanna-Barbera cartoon. So it would be kind of nice to know, or to have the backgrounds changed a little bit. So you can upgrade your plane in between. Super power, super attack, stronger, recharge quicker. Upgrades projectile speed and rate of fire is what I get. Yeah, I can't afford. Okay, if I can afford that one and that one. Okay. So yeah, let's dip into this next level. Let's hope it's something different. New Axis superplanes. Hunt them down, but don't get caught by extra flak. So there is this kind of. What's cool is you have objectives that are beyond just, oh hey, just shoot these things. You also have bombing runs that you want to do. So you get, I got 1 out of 30 of those things that I can take out there. And that's kind of cool, and you get like extra points and bonuses for beating all of those and things like that. And wow, okay, we have this extra thing that it's obviously shooting anti-aircraft guns at me at the moment. Whoa, it's making it hard to see. So yeah, it does some interesting stuff with the idea of it being, yes, it's a shmup, but it's a shmup set in you know, sort of World War II, and it does a lot with that concept. Royally Hunt there, for instance. And let's see, one mission that was pretty cool. Let's see, what one was it? You just get like these generic descriptors of each one. I think it was this one was fairly interesting. So you had things like the bombers attacking different locations in this stage here. So there you go. So the bombing target's ahead, and you've got to defend these blue things from the bombers that are coming in. So it's like, well, you got to take out these guys really, really quickly if you want to get the bonus for beating everything. I think that's really kind of cool. It does, you know, in a lot of iOS kind of mobile style shooters of this breed would just kind of go, well, here's a shmup with a bunch of enemies in it, and just leave it at that. But that you're doing like little extra objectives is really pretty interesting. So I think it's yeah, the fact that it's more ambitious than it first appears, it definitely deserves note. It's just that, yeah, it's not handled all that brilliantly. I don't think, were I playing it on tablet or phone or indeed Vita, I'm not sure it would be a radical 180 of suddenly I absolutely adore this game, but I can sort of see what it's trying to do, and that's some of the stuff that it's trying to do is pretty cool. It's just that, yeah, it really, if your only means of playing this game is the PS4 or or PC, I guess, if you're only intending to play this game with a controller, then just don't. I mean, yeah, when you see this is me just flicking the stick, and it just sort of hurts and jerks all over the place. There's just nowhere near enough granular control to be really good at it, especially when you have to face the bosses. In fact, let's get to the end of the stage. I'll show you the first boss. I'm nowhere near good enough to get to the second boss because the game is really, really hard, and it's really, really hard to play with this input device. That's it. I mean, I think the upgrades for the guns, probably for the planes rather, count a fair bit. I mean, like, I had to do the stage over and over and over again a zillion times before. But now I kind of think my plane's sort of powered up enough to make this kind of easy, relatively speaking. I do like the sort of shower of death that your superpower unlocks or grants you. So it's pretty cool.
Machine gun, good job, pilot. Watch your six.
And there we go. I think that was the last. I think there might be one more actually. I think that's another thing as well, especially given the mobile use that this game has. The stages are just a pinch too long. Each time you kind of think, oh, it's done now. Oh, wait, no, there's more. So that's, yeah, it's always, I kind of think it's a little bit, each location's a little bit overdone. So yeah, I mean, you'll get an idea of just how irritating the damage here is, or like the amount of bullets on the screen here is in the first boss fight. And this took me a million tries to do. It really did take me ages to get done. But I'm kind of a dad hand at this now. You gotta fly in circles to avoid everything. But yeah, I mean, it's absolutely 100% a case of succeeding in spite of the controls rather than using the controls as a tool. Especially there, you see like those bullets fan out in an arc. If I had the precise control of having my thumb on the screen, I would comfortably, I think, be able to avoid those bullets, but it's just not gonna happen on a PS4 controller there. Let's have just one last try, I think, at this third mission here. So you do have other people, which I haven't bothered to unlock. I don't know whether they're, I don't know, particularly easier to play as, or whether I need to balance min-maxing my plane versus which dude I buy. Okay. So drop a bomb over that. Basically, I think the plan is to take out these AA batteries as quickly as possible because they tend to flash and cause me to not see shit, and then cause me to get blown up. Yeah, except I keep on missing. I'm getting absolutely humped. Absolutely humped. And I'm getting no help either. Where are those power planes? Jeez. Okay, fine. Maybe I think you could be a whole wave of them. Jeez. Yeah. It's really hard. So I suppose if you like really hard games, then this is kind of for you. There's another 3 tiers after that. You know, it's like 4, 8, 12, 13 stages after the one I'm on. I'm getting absolutely slaughtered. So there is a lot of challenge to it, but it's probably a lot easier if you happen to be playing with not the PS4 controller, not this, but instead a touchscreen. I know that seems bizarre to say, that a game probably handles much better with a phone in your hands than with consoles, but I think that's probably the message of stop porting mobile phone games to consoles and PCs, because it kind of does your stuff a disservice. Because yeah, as I said, I can definitely see what they're going for at Handy Games here with this, and what they're going for is interesting and kind of cool and kind of charming. It's just this isn't the right way to play it. So yeah, iOS, Android, maybe. Vita, maybe. PS4, definitely not. That's Aces of the Luftwaffe. Christian for KaijuPop.com. Thanks for watching. Bye.